Hi everyone, welcome to Jen's Gym Candelo. I've got another full body workout for you today. If you need some guidance with your warm-up, then see my warm-up video on my YouTube channel. This, by the way, will be the last stay the fuck at home workout. Thank God, because I'm overseeing my mug on the video. The only equipment that you're going to need for today is a weighted bucket or a kettlebell of an appropriate size. So depending on your fitness level, you'll need something between 6 to 10 kilograms. Okay, let's get started. The first exercise is bird dogs. There's two versions. I'll do the easy version first. So down on the ground on all fours, toes turned under, engaging your core, and then we're going to curl in and then stretching right out. Curling all the way in and stretching all the way out. And this is a nice, slow and controlled movement. If that one is too difficult for you, you can just start with your arm and your leg extended and then just lifting. Just make sure that you don't lift your leg higher than your hips. Think long thoughts. You want to be stretching nice and long. Okay? Obviously, you've got to do both sides. If you're looking for a bit more of a challenge, there's this version, which you need to do on something so that you're, or hanging your knees over a step so that your toes are not on the ground. So we're doing this just with knees and no contact for your toes. So you can do it here, or you can have just a little bit more support. So now you've got your shins supported. Obviously, the less that's on the box, the harder it's going to be. So it's exactly the same thing, but you've really got to engage the core to stabilise this movement. So all the way in, up, all the way out. This is a terrible example. You'll warm into it. Okay, so something like that but better. Okay. So that's bird dogs. Moving on to legs. So for people that can't load their knees, this is an exercise for you. A single leg balance exercise. So we're going to stand with one high knee, arms out to the side at shoulder height, really engaging the glutes and your core. The engagement of the core makes a huge difference to your ability to balance this exercise. So really mindfully focus on engaging your core. And then we're going to twist the upper part of your body all the way, or as far as you can, 180 degrees. No, 90 degrees, sorry. 90 degrees. If you can't go all the way around, then just go halfway. But really think about balancing this. This is what this exercise is for. It's for balance and really strengthening these leg muscles and especially your ankle muscles, all of the muscles, musculature around the ankle. Okay, struggling with this last video. Okay, moving right along. Obviously, you've got to do both sides. Okay, squats. We're doing box squats. So you need to find a box that is, or a chair that is an appropriate height for you. This is kind of a standard chair height, about 50 centimetres. So if you're just at the beginning of your squatting career, then start off with something around this height. You want to have your hands crossed on your shoulders, feet wider than hip width apart with your toes slightly pointed out. And you want to think about this being a vertical move. We're going straight up and trying not to rock forward. So we want to keep our chest high and open and think about having a rope attached to your head, pulling you straight up. Keep your toes moving out in the same direction as your knees. So try and come up nice and powerfully. Okay, that's the first version. Looking for a bit more of a challenge. This time we're not going to deload our weight. So we're just going to go down now. The box is just a target. We're just tapping it. So exactly the same thing, keeping your chest high, knees moving out over your toes, and just tapping that box. If you want a bit more of a challenge, we're going to do what's called a box squat jump. So exactly the same thing. We're going to start sitting on the box. We're going to come up, power and jump. Just a little deload and straight up. Big, powerful jump. Okay, that's box squats. My screen's gone dead. Okay, all right, that's legs done. Moving on to the upper body. This first exercise is scapular wall rows. I really like this exercise. It's a great way to do rowing, body weight rowing, without using your arms. So your biceps are taken out of the equation altogether. So now we're focusing on those muscles, the rhomboid muscles and your trapezius muscle to do the work. So standing with your feet about 30 centimetres from the wall, heels 30 centimetres from the wall. This is your starting position. And we're going to squeeze our glutes. So now our body is in a plank. So really get some good glute activation going there before you use your elbows to push your body away from the wall. Keeping your shoulders down and mindfully squeezing your shoulder blades together. All the while squeezing your glutes and staying in a nice, strong plank position. This exercise can be done on the ground as well. So on the ground, it looks like this. Knees up, hands up. And you've got to be careful not to engage your core too much for this, because you don't want this to be a workout for your abs. This is a workout for your back. So really push with your elbows, squeezing those shoulder blades together. And you'll also get a little bit of workout in your shoulders. Okay? Righto. Now we're moving on to push-ups. So we can do push-ups on a wall. This is not ideal, a pole, but you can do them on a wall. You want your feet to be a fair distance from the wall, but you need to measure that yourself in terms of the intensity of the exercise. The further away your feet are from the wall, the harder the push-up is going to be. So we're going to lower ourselves to the wall or the pole, keeping your glutes fully engaged so that you are like a plank, pushing in and out. If you are doing it on a wall, you would have your hands at shoulder width apart. So the same thing can be done on a bench. So if you've got a bench, you want to make it a little bit harder. Set yourself up at bench height, exactly the same thing. Feet hip width apart, shoulders over your wrists, fairly closely over your wrists, and then lowering. Just be careful not to flare your elbows out to the side. We want to keep the elbows fairly close to our body so that we don't push our shoulders into an uncomfortable range. And of course, the final version is down on the floor, either on your knees. If you are at a stage where you're just starting to be able to do push-ups on the floor, but you can only do 2 or 3, then just do 6 sets of 2 to 3. But if you're up to doing sets of 8 to 10, then you might do 3 sets. And of course, the standard version up on your toes. Okay, that's upper body. Okay, we're up to the final exercise group. We're going to do a circuit, but of course, the 2 exercises that I have planned for the circuit can be performed independently if you're not up for the circuit style. So the first exercise is side-to-side floor tap. So you need to have a little space in your house about a 5 metre length. So just mark it on the floor so you can see where it is. We're going to start up one end and we're going to sashay all the way to one end, and then we're going to go down sideways. So we're not reaching forward, we're not coming to here and touching here, we're reaching to the side and then sashay back. And if you can't sashay, then side step. But try and get down sideways. The other way that you can make it a little bit easier is, instead of going all the way to the floor, have a target that's up a bit higher, so you're tapping to there. Okay, that's the 2 versions of your side-to-side taps. That should get your heart rate up, and we're using lots of big muscle groups to do that exercise. And then back extensions to finish off. So you would alternate between side-to-side floor tapping and then back extensions. This one is one arm up and one arm down. We're going to lift our chest, rotate your arms and lower. Lift, rotate, lower. Okay? And that's your lot. Last stay in the fucking home workout and back to normal next week. So I'm really looking forward to seeing everyone in my gym next week. It's been a really lonely place without you all. So enjoy your weekend of freedom now that the restrictions have been lifted, and I will see you next week. Don't forget to cool down. If you need some guidance with a cool down, see my cool down video on the YouTube channel. Thanks. See ya.